We were just saying you can go up the tower, so we might see if we can do that today.
Yeah. This is the sanctuary knocker, dating back to the 12th century. It was cast in bronze in 1155. It symbolised the right of sanctuary in medieval England. It provided those accused of serious crimes like murder in self-defence or escaping prison a temporary asylum in the cathedral for 37 days. Anyone seeking refuge would grasp the knocker, and monks watching from a hidden room above would open the door and grant asylum. The sanctuary rite was eventually abolished in 1624. The knocker shown here is a replica, but you can still see the 12th century original in the great kitchen in the cathedral.
The cathedral was built between 1093 and 1133. It was founded as a monastic cathedral to house the shrine of St Cuthbert, one of England's most venerated saints. It's built on a peninsula formed by a bend in the River Wear, a highly defensible location that led to the establishment of the city of Durham around it. The columns are all carved with different patterns: diamond shapes, chevron patterns, spirals and vertical fluting. It's likely they were originally painted in bright colours, reds, blues and golds. Traces of this paint still remain on the ceilings and walls. This tradition of painted interiors was common in medieval churches, but largely disappeared after the Reformation, when walls were whitewashed and stained glass replaced or destroyed. The columns are hollow and may contain rubble. They are not main supports for the building, but designed to symbolise the prayers of worshippers rising to heaven.
The pulpit is Victorian. Built in 1874, it's made of marble and alabaster. It's slightly at odds with the cathedral's otherwise medieval fabric, but ornate and beautiful nevertheless. I couldn't stop staring at its beauty. The pulpit is off-centre, symbolically suggesting that preaching the word of God is secondary to the position of the chancel and high altar.
The rose window is located at the east end of the nave, above the chapel of 9 altars. It's replaced an earlier 15th century window, which was damaged by a storm in the 1770s. It depicts Jesus in the centre, surrounded by the 12 apostles. Each apostle holds an item linked to their personal story. In the top left segment, a figure holding an axe is probably St Matthew, who was killed by an axe. Another apostle is holding a ship. This is St Jude, a fisherman who went on missionary expeditions. The saint holding a saw may be St James the Less, whose body was sawn apart.
Right now, we're down here.
And now we're up here, on top of it.
Well, we have to see. We're going up, yes, another spiral staircase, but we're not in the hotel anymore. We're now in Durham Cathedral, and we're climbing the 300-odd stairs to go up the tower. Sign from 1783. Let's keep going. We're not in the hotel anymore.
Easier climbing Yew Barrow than walking up here.
You're right down there. Look up. Okay.
It's like climbing a hill. Here we go. Surely not much further now. Here we go. 325 steps.
Hatfield, or Thomas of Hatfield, was the Bishop of Durham from 1345 to 1381 under King Edward III. He was one of the last warrior bishops in England and the longest-serving prince-bishop, holding office from 1345 until his death in 1381. He was a valued royal servant to the king. Hatfield and his knights saved King Edward III's son from danger at the Battle of Crecy in 1346. He was famous for sending envoys to Rome to measure the Pope's throne to ensure his own was the tallest in Christendom. Allegedly, the Pope was furious when he found this out, and so he had a thick cushion placed on his throne.
Thomas Wolsey was key advisor to Henry VIII, and he held enormous power running the English government and church affairs. But he fell from favour after failing to secure the annulment of Henry VIII's marriage to Catherine of Aragon. He died in 1530 whilst en route to answer charges of treason. St Cuthbert of Lindisfarne lived from around 634 until 687 and is regarded as the patron saint of Northumbria. He spread the word of Christianity by travelling around the northeast at a time when paganism was still widespread. When he died, he was buried the same day on the holy island of Lindisfarne. However, 11 years after his death, his remains were reburied on Lindisfarne in an oak coffin, which is now on display in the great kitchen of the cathedral. Upon opening his sarcophagus, the monks were shocked to find his body perfectly preserved or incorrupt. It was this miracle which amplified Cuthbert's posthumous popularity even further. In 1104, his tomb was once more opened and his relics moved to a new shrine lying behind the altar in the cathedral. This shrine was destroyed during the dissolution of the monasteries, but thankfully his relics survived and are on display in a protected area of the cathedral.
The pillars near to St Cuthbert's tomb are made from 325 million year old black marble. The fossil inclusions are crinoid fossils, which are sometimes called sea lilies, and there are also other ancient sea creatures embedded in the stone.
The Magna Carta was on display during our visit to the cathedral. This is the only surviving issue of the 1216 Magna Carta, and only 2 issues of the 1217 Charter of the Forest survive. The Magna Carta was a document that limited the power of the monarchy and established the principle that everyone, including the king, is subject to the law. It was born out of rebellion by barons demanding justice and protection from arbitrary rule.
The brown-coloured stain on the Magna Carta was caused sometime in the 1740s when a historian called Christopher Hunter accidentally spilled a bottle of ink over it. After this incident, he was never allowed back into the library again.